Get your freaky ass on! You know you freaky. Freaky ass, sick ass shit, your little freaky ass. Freaky bitch! Keep that freaky shit on your page on my uncle. You's a freaky ass nigga!
Okay, this episode was entertaining. My second favorite from the season so far. But I have to get into this first. Omni-Man is actually despicable. He has another child, but that's not what shocked me. I knew Mark had a brother, due to the other Invincible YouTube videos I've watched. But I expected the mother to be Debbie. I thought they got back together somehow, and that's how Mark's brother was born. I can't believe he's been getting freaky with the insects. How are you taking a giant insect to Pound Town? Now when this nigga said pet, he's really on some other shit. Because how does a human-looking organism get down with an ant? Nah, Debbie is already spiraling in this episode. How is she going to react when she finds out she lost her husband to a blue bug? How long has it been for this guy to just look at a blue ant and think, yeah, I want a piece of that? And get this. They all look the blood clot same. Omni-Man really won for personality. Yuck, Omni-Man. Yuck. Him and Max Tennyson are some freaky ass niggas. I might even make a video on the top 10 freaks in animation because this shit ain't normal. Man, if I had to go for an alien and I was on that freaky type of timing, I would go for Marvin the Martian's girl. She'd been fine since I was a youngin'. What is in the Viltrumite libido that he really looked at a giant bug and thought this is the one? Anyways, let me move on from Omni-Man's freaky endeavors. So we begin the episode off from when Omni finished giving Invincible the severe fist-to-face combo and decided fly away from Earth. We now see that he has tears in his eyes while leaving. By the way, I watched a YouTube video earlier this week which explained Viltrumites don't have emotions or they don't display emotion. So me seeing my Omni-Man tear up is crazy. Anyways, we follow him through a montage of his journey through space. As time goes by, he notices a spaceship hurtling towards the sun. And he decides to be a hero and pushes the ship away from the sun and rescues the passengers. The passengers of the ship appear to be life-sized blue ant bug aliens on it, and Nolan becomes particularly fond of one of them. He then decides to settle on the bug planet which we saw the last episode. And he's now their emperor. So now we spin back to present to when Mark saw him. Mark is shocked to see his father, and the vibe gets kind of tense. He starts having flashbacks of the last time he saw his dad. That's how you know the ass beating was intense. When you see the face of your attacker and start having flashbacks. In a moment of silence, he approaches Omni-Man. And I thought he was gonna hit him with the hammer hand. I'm talking full swing like a baseball pitcher. Straight hook to the jaw. But what he does shocks me. They stand off face to face. Mark has his fist clenched and Omni-Man opens his body. Mark then pumps a fake, but Nolan ain't flinch. Like a true alpha Viltrumite. Then it gets tense for a moment. Then Mark gives his father a hug. I'm thinking to myself, what kind of soft shit is that? Nigga pushed your head through a moving train. I don't know. If it were me, not much reconciliation can be done after that. But after the hug, Mark then gets mad. Lists all the things Omni-Man did and how he treated them back on Earth. Mark then tells his dad F you. And tries to fly off. Omni-Man chases after him and explains he needs help to save the bug planet. Mark ain't trying to hear all that, but eventually comes around. Omni-Man takes Mark back to his home and introduces him to his new family. He didn't even warn him. And just started giving tongue action to the blue ant. He introduces Mark to his new wife, Andressa, and their son. Omni-Man then explains he can't go back to Earth due to the Viltrumite politics of leaving his post. Mark has every right to be mad at this point. Omni-Man just left his wife and called her a pet. Beat up his one and only son, saying he could have more. Then runs away from the planet and finds a bug wife. And not only that, he's impregnated the giant blue ant and now has introduced it as a brother. After all this shocking news, Omni-Man explains that the other Viltrumites are coming for him. And that they will kill the new sibling. And he needs Mark's help to fend them off. Omni-Man using the "but he's your brother. What type of ish is that? Omni-Man lucky I ain't his son, I would have left the bug planet and that half-brother bug for perish." Omni-Man appears remorseful, but it seems like an act. Like when was he such a humanitarian? He killed the Guardians of the Globe in one night. But now he cares about the bug planet and has priorities. Honestly, he's jarring. Bug Ussie must hit different because Debbie never made him feel this way. Mark tells him F you again. Mark is reluctant to help. But now it's too late for training and there's no time to prepare. The Viltrumite soldiers come crashing through. It's the same three goons from last episode. Omni-Man instructs Mark to take Andressa and Baby Bug and make a run to the hideout while Omni-Man tries to fight off the Viltrumites. Side note, Andressa is only a few months old in Earth years. Their entire lifespan is a year according to what was shared in the hideout. I ain't calling Omni-Man a you-know-what, but make what you will. So back to the action. Got my nigga Viltrumite Steve Harvey in the cut. That's a scary sight. Nah, but for real. He came crashing through where Mark and Andressa were hiding out with the baby. As soon as he saw the Ute, he was disgusted the same way I was.
Another child? With these disgusting creatures?
And that's why that's my nigga. Not just cause he a black Viltrumite. Actually, it is because he's a black Viltrumite and he looked like Steve Harvey. Anyways, it's squabbling time. They get into a session of viscous fisticuffs. They love it. Someone said Viltrumites are basically the Saiyans of the Invincible universe, and I definitely can't debate that. Viltrumites love a good wrestle and tussle. A fight to them is like a good meal. Steve Harvey gave Invincible a severe beating. He kind of let him off though. Nolan comes through to back the fight and does some damage to Steve Harvey. He sliced his stomach open. I wonder how that happened. I treat Viltrumites like Kryptonians. So I feel that these guys have indestructible skin. So is it the sheer force of the swing that cut his belly? Or was his nail so sharp that it slices the skin? Andressa and the baby managed to escape from Steve Harvey. But the other two Viltrumites are on the loose causing havoc. Omni-Man is witnessing them slaughter the bug people. He gets furious and directs his anger at Mark all of a sudden by putting him in a neck hold.
You little dick! I do call it living!
Is this Homer and Bart? What is going on? Mark is too kind. He really need to tell his father to get his bug-humping hands off him. Omni starts rambling and questioning why he cares for all these people. In the midst of this, the old lady Rapunzel Viltrumite and the other Viltrumite goon pull up to the father and son. They get to squabbling. Mark is getting beat bad by Rapunzel. He even starts calling for his dad. I'm looking at this dude like pathetic. Nolan comes through and starts putting work on the other Viltrumite. He starts looking at Mark in pity, watching him getting his ass whopped. He has a moment and tells Mark he needs to fight with no mercy because that is the Viltrumite way, or else they will kill him. They get into some serious tag team squabble. Omni-Man has crushed the guy's head but sees Mark still struggling. He comes through and manages to break Rapunzel's jaw. They are all tired from the fight. Then out of nowhere, Steve Harvey comes through with a 2-foot stomp kick to the back of Omni-Man. This was his finishing move. Omni-Man back has been blown. Pause. I hope that is not the end of Steve Harvey though. Okay, so they are all finished. The goons are supposedly dead. Omni-Man and Mark are fatigued from the battle. A few moments pass and a Viltrumite recovery team have arrived. They take Omni-Man on a stretcher. Invincible asks where they are taking him, and a Viltrumite with a cyber eye gives Mark a Mark 4-1 bang to the face. Then he explains that Omni-Man will be put on trial and face persecution for abandoning his post. Then he threatens Mark like a mob boss. Her tells Mark to take over Earth for the Viltrumite Empire or else they will wipe everyone out. It's crazy how Viltrumites just punch first then talk. Anyways, that concludes that story. In the episode, the other stories is Debbie and Donald. Debbie. I normally just pass her scenes off. This one just felt sad. She's just walking the streets with no headphones or anything. Listening to straight atmosphere, just alone with her thoughts. She went over to Nolan's tombstone and starts questioning everything. Man, I feel bad for her. She's been depressed since, and Nolan really getting it on with Miss Giant Blue Ant. Taking it to Pound Town and doing it cricket style and all those insect positions. Imagine losing your significant other to an insect. I wouldn't know how to react. Anyways, Debbie is at the graveyard by Nolan's tombstone questioning herself about all this. Next we see the Mahler twins. The deformed Mahler creates a new twin. But long story short, the new clone gets fed up being the subordinate and kills the original who created it. I kind of saw this happening, but I didn't expect so soon. Donald has been trying to investigate his existence since he saw Debbie shocked at his appearance. I don't really know why her shock moved him. But I guess he was deeply curious on why she looked at him like that. Donald tries to pay a visit to Debbie but can't find her. He then looks across the road at the remaining rubble of the surveillance house. He searches the rubble. He discovers a pair of glasses which are just like his. I find this discovery a bit shady. Because you mean to tell me after all that time? After they cleaned the bodies from the area, they didn't think to clean up the glasses? How did the entire cleanup crew not see the glasses? Anyways, the glasses open a can of worms for Donald and he investigates further. Donald returns back to the headquarters with the glasses and checks the computer for footage of the surveillance house. It appears this Donald has no memory of the event that took place. He hacks the computer and finds the footage of him blowing up the house. Donald is shocked by this and has an epiphany. He then tries cutting himself in the bathroom to check if he's human. He can feel pain and blood comes out, but he manages to dent the blade. He then has a reality crisis. This episode was exciting, fight-wise, and enjoyed it. I've seen a few images of people comparing the image to the comics, but I don't see a big deal with it. Viltrumite Steve Harvey. Am hoping for a full recovery. I don't care if he a villain. I think Omni-Man will make a full recovery. I don't know what will happen after. They kind of left Mark deserted on that big planet, so hopefully he finds his way back home. Can't say much for Debbie. I just hope no one breaks the news of Nolan's bug family. Talking about the bug family, they escaped, so they might be able to help Mark to Earth. I don't know what Donald is, if he's a clone or an experiment or whatever. Invincible won't return back new episodes until 2024. Not that bad of a wait. I will be honest though, I don't really like splits mid-season, but it's common nowadays. Again, I've seen on Twitter complaints of this, and it's a fair argument. Maybe they should have delayed till the season was complete. They do give us 40 minutes of animation, so I think it's not that bad to delay, especially since it's anticipation since 2021. What are your thoughts for next season? And with that, I conclude the video. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like with the thumbs up. Share the vid also. If you got some thoughts to share, feel free to comment down below. I am always open to suggestions to improving my content, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. Join the team and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Drop some suggestions of what I should watch. Enjoy your day and stay blessed.